Hello, it's July 14th, 2026. I'm ready to start my walk. So I decided to put on, I just got this in the mail, my skull cap. And I had one like this years ago, but it came unraveled. But I could crochet one, but I like the nylon netting in this one. So I like it because I like to cover the front part of my head. I think I was covering the front part of my head when it started getting patches of gray, but now most of it is in that area, so it don't need to be covered, but I still like covering it anyway. So I'm heading out, and I'm just wandering aimlessly because I'm trying to figure out what route to take this morning. Whatever I do, if I wander aimlessly for 30 minutes, that's good enough. I noticed something. People's trash cans are not on the sidewalk on my street. How? I just noticed that. They're actually on the curb. And I actually did a post and about that. Cars and trash cans on the curb. Now, I'm not saying that because I did that post in that is that Ring app, and it's called something neighborhood. And I did that, and there was people was just giving smart remarks, and other people was like very sympathetic. And but on my particular street, I noticed courtesy. The trash cans are actually on the curbs. Thank you, neighborhood. It's called Neighborhood Watch. And like, thank y'all. Thanks for your courtesy, whether it's for whether I said something because I said something, or I don't know. However, I go on there. You can go anonymously. You can have, I got another picture on there, another kind of name. So whatever happened, I'm grateful. Because this is my street is the one that normally has all the trash cans out waiting. But, well, at least today, they're not on the sidewalk. But I saw something moving in the grass. I don't know if he's sleeping. Is he okay? I think he's okay. It's a rabbit. Yeah, I think he's okay. I was like, what is that? But he's lying so still, he may not feel well, but he sure wasn't moving a lot, but he did move. But I'm gonna leave him alone because, I don't want no trouble. Let nature be nature. I would like to come back here on my way back and walk down to the playground. We'll see as I wander aimlessly along. A little bit further, and I see cars out in the parking lot of the school. I'm thinking staff are here for their summer teacher institute. So I don't really want to be around that. I just don't want to. So probably won't be doing that part. But yeah, they're getting ready to be trained. These are new staff institute, and they're being trained. And I guess the other day, students came, they presented, and they were telling, individually, they were saying what they needed from teachers. It was kind of cool. The superintendent put it online. She's a really cool superintendent, and I think she's dynamic, actually. I think she's been extraordinarily really good for our district. And I love Harrison School District number 2. And I hope with this last one, I don't have bitterness for it by the time she leaves. I hope I still continue to have that love for a district that I spent in for most of my career. Yeah, so that's my prayer, that we go out good. I'm walking on the other side of a street I've come up before. I just like the way it looks like. I just like the trees and the green that I'm passing through. And of course, I'm going to eventually have to cross over to that side, but that's when I get to the end of the street. So I had a prayer request this morning. It just came in a text message, and it was a unspoken request, which is fine. I rather, the unspoken request, because sometimes when you know what's going on, you get in there and praying for people, and you're asking for things that that person may not even need. That's not the answer. So it was unspoken, and so I have more of the ability to pray to God and say, whatever the situation is, take hold, And I hadn't heard from this person in a while, and so I was surprised that the prayer request came through. And yeah, so while I'm in tune with nature, walking with God, even before I got out, I was in tune. It was the best time to send that request to God. So yeah, got to get in that spirit. Can't just mechanically pray, because that's just like sending that prayer emoji. Like, what is that? I say, pray for me, and I get a prayer emoji. But did you pray for me? A prayer emoji is not a prayer. It is not an actual prayer. But hopefully when you post that emoji, you're saying, I've already sent it. I'm going to send it. Yeah. So I always tell people the prayer has already been up. I'm trying to see, you can barely see the mountains. But I love that. You can barely see it through the trees, but they always show up. I like the fact that my house faces the west, even though they've built up around the city so much you can't see the mountains that clearly, but my house faces the mountains, but I got too many houses in front of me. But sometimes if they do, or when they do fireworks and everything, I just have to sit out the front door because I face west. The mountains are to the west. And when I leave Colorado, I'm totally lost. I don't know what direction I'm going. And that's the only thing I'll miss about living in Colorado if I ever move. I'm back to my little throne. Oops, I took my watch off. But I guess my beads could tell me, bracelet. But I walked for 40-something minutes and a mile and something. I don't know, something and a half. But I did do a mile. And I didn't really walk far, so every time I think about doing the 2-mile walk, but I don't think I should do every day because it doesn't make me want to walk, because it's a long walk and it's a lot going on. There's lots of cars going by. Every once in a while somebody honking the horn, or and so the 2-mile walk requires me to do most of my walk along sidewalks of busy streets, which is weird. Just a few years back, those weren't busy streets. They were just high. It's a residential neighborhood. They were streets that lead to the street you needed to be on. And with all the construction and everything going on, they detoured to these streets. And it's been going on for quite a few summers, and I'm tired of it. Enough. You supposed to fix these streets. Back in 22, you was fixing streets. Why ain't they fixed? And if you fix them, why they broken again? Just tired of it. So, I did the coffee today. Okay, yes. Yesterday, I elected to do hot coffee. And I came outside, very beautiful, um, and I watched live stream my youngest aunt's funeral. And she's the last of my aunts. And genuinely was not okay all day. I just had to keep talking about it. I don't know. I had to keep talking about it. I had to keep sharing her pictures. And I didn't think it would affect me the way it did, because I feel like sometimes I have turned my emotion off sometimes. And when because I'm about to say when you turn your emotions off, the body, it does not forget how it feels about a situation. So my body was tight yesterday. It was so tight, especially in the gut area. It was hitting me in my gut, which is just the core of your whole being. And I realized when I left Charleston, South Carolina, I was 12 years old. And if I was 12 years old, my aunt was 26. I never saw her again. So I only knew up to the 26-year-old aunt. And sometimes she was the favorite aunt because she was the youngest aunt, first of all. And because I loved all my aunts that I knew. And but when you're away from somebody, you don't get to see their growth. You don't get to see them through their stages of life. I never visited, but I'm just saying, even if you just go back and visit every once in a while, you're really not around that person enough to know what's going on in that person's life, other than what that person tells you or what other people tells you. But you really don't get to experience their true growth. So sometimes, all I know in my head is who she was up to 26 years old. That's it. In my imagination is my aunt up to the time she was 26 years old. And so that's why it was so hard to take, Eventually it took me to get to the point of she's really gone. And like I said, I always try to shut down emotions because I don't really want to be sad. And then I got to say, it's not even about me. I started getting really, really sad for her sons. And they lost their mother. Wow. And so not only did they lose their mother, as men, they have to stand and be strong. And, they, and in spite of the grief that they're going through, they don't have to, but society has pressured men, and hopefully it is changing more, that vulnerability is something you can't show. You can't show vulnerability. So hopefully that they will actually get to deal with grief, and that their wives will be of great support while they're trying to go through their grieving period. I had a spouse who had a lot of deaths, lost siblings, lost a parent, and it was hard. I mean, being there was not hard, but getting that person to really deal with the grief, and when that person chose to deal with it in other ways that are not so good for them, it's hard to be there for them too at that time. It's hard to be there for them. But that's who I really feel for. Sorry, I wouldn't say sorry. That's who I feel for, is them. I'm They're the ones, no one's going through this harder than them. They are. And because I know if I lost my mama and, or my dad, y'all could have had similar experience, but y'all never going to have the same experience. Just like these young men, it's people will, I know it's natural. People will say, oh yeah, when my mom died, I felt like this, but they're not going to feel the same way you felt. There's no common, or how to say, there's no way to feel that everybody, if they go through this is the way that they're supposed to be feeling. It's all different. And how they deal with it is different. So I pray for them that as the realization to them that she's gone, that God, you're right there to hold them. And for them to remember the pain, she was suffering. And to remember that. And that God took her from her suffering. And as the pastor, and I think it was the pastor who gave the eulogy, he said there was no coming back from it. He said, you can, as we get older, you don't come back to where you were. You're not going to be like you used to be when you're young and healthy. It's not going to happen. You might do things to make you healthy. You may do things to make you not have pain. You may do things to make you be in the best, look, shape your body is, but your body is not the same. And it is slowly deteriorating. But you could slow it down. The only thing you could do is slow down the deterioration in some kinds of ways, but you can never ever stop it. I don't care if you're the best runner, you run every morning. I don't care if you drink healthy smoothies. But by the way, when you start to put fruit and vegetables into a blender, you change the dynamics of the fruit and it doesn't work as well, or the vegetable. It does not work as well. It doesn't have the same nutritional value. But anyway, we're off track. I'm off track. So I don't care how much exercise you do. I don't care how much weight you lift. I don't care what you do. You're slowing down the deterioration, but you're not stopping it. And so, and that's the reality of life. And I've come to the part in my life that I'm realizing my demise is somewhere in the more distant future than it was when I was younger, in the far distance. It's more distant than it is. It's more near than distant, let's put it that way. And yeah, my body is not definitely not the same. And when I walk and when I look in the mirror and stuff like that, whoa, when did this happen? That's what I say. Like, when did this happen? It just creeped up on me. But it's how I look at it. I'm okay. I love it. This is the season of my life. And I'm about to sneeze, so I'm gonna probably have to take a minute here. Enjoy your seasons, literally and figuratively. Whatever season you are in, enjoy it. And so I'm in a different season than I was 10 years ago, and even 5 years ago. So I'm enjoying my season. Here I am, and I'm enjoying the perks of being in my season. People help open the doors for me. People take things off the shelf for me. People are respectful and polite to me. My youngest granddaughter, like if we're going into a store, she'll grab my elbow and she will guide me into the store, even though I don't need it. And sometimes I have to stop myself. I'm like, no, I can do this myself. But I go ahead because that's what she wants to do. She wants to help her Mimi. So I'm like, is it that bad? Have I really gotten there? And then you know what? I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to just enjoy her pulling me by the elbow, latching her elbow into mine, because in a couple of years, she ain't gonna be wanting to be around me that much, and she's not going to be around me that much. She's gonna be out with her friends. She's gonna be going to school, being part of activities, and just starting to explore herself and what she wants in life. So she's not gonna be hanging out with me like we besties. Um, so I'm gonna enjoy that while I can. And yeah, so that's my reflection on yesterday. Is wow, it's wow, but it was beautiful at the same time. It was beautiful. Um, I was telling my mom when the soloist sang "When I See Jesus," but I couldn't hear. You can hear. You actually really couldn't hear what was going on in the church. So there might have been people that were silently sobbing, but nobody really kind of physically reacted. I don't know how they didn't because I did. And when he said, "When I see Jesus," and I pictured her, and I said, she saw Jesus. She already saw Jesus. And because the Bible says, when you're absent from the body, you're with Christ. And so she saw Jesus. And I said, wow, that's what we all strive to do. We strive to see Jesus. And she saw Jesus. And she said, amen. She, like, at graduation, they say, take your tassel from the left side to the right side. Well, she graduated. Amen. Y'all have a good day. Like, comment, subscribe. Bless anyone who's going through for sorrowful moments. I cannot speak for anyone because I have not gone through that since I was a child. And bless you all. May the Comforter comfort you. What is. You cannot go in your mind, the what ifs and all of that. The what ifs do not exist. They no longer exist, cannot change anything. Thank God for what was. Have a good day.